Welcome to Grab Load, and we have some rumors going around with Microsoft layoffs here in the Xbox division. And at the same time, we also have a new insider build of the Microsoft's Xbox app, which allows to have Steam, Battle.net, Game Pass, all in the one launcher, aggregating it, all your stuff there instead of three separate applications to go to. And GOG does something like this as well, and they have an aggregator there. But I believe kind of these two things are kind of together a little bit, meaning I think that Microsoft is looking at the $70 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard King, which I said I would be cautious about. And I wasn't very enthusiastic about it because I didn't think Microsoft's track history with acquisitions was going to have fruits on that. But getting back to this side of things is I'm a little worried that Microsoft with these layoffs is trying to cut back and trim in areas to try to make sure that they're getting the level of income they need to show off to investors that $70 billion purchase and all the other game purchases we had with ZeniMax, which was what, 7.5 billion, and all of these are returning a benefit on what they've had. Now we've only had one release of Call of Duty so far, and so, how much money can you make here within 1 year? But they're still going to be making changes according to reports. Neilwin had it, Brad Sams as well, and a few other places have already had this. And you start looking at, you take a step back and you look at what's actually happening. So Microsoft is updating the Xbox app to have a whole bunch of options, everything in one. That might be more convenient to launch your games, but is it also to maybe make sure that you maybe get on Game Pass? We haven't really had solid Game Pass numbers out from the financial side of things to know where this is taking off. That may lead to it's behind where Microsoft really wants it to be. It could also be here. We want, when we're integrating all these stores into one, it's a new place that you can go to launch everything, but also a new place that you can all get ads and advertisements to maybe buy the game from Microsoft instead of going through Steam. Now, maybe that is also Game Pass, which is what they want to do and try to increase those Game Pass numbers and get you off of Steam and onto the Xbox app. I don't think that that's going to work too well. I think a lot of people will buy where they want to buy, but I take it and I'm taking a look at this. I'm looking at it as the integration of all these game libraries into the Xbox app seems to me to be money motivated, not so much of convenience motivated. Now, it may help out. Microsoft may not even put ads in there, may just make it just a aggregator for everything. But for some reason, I highly doubt that based upon past Microsoft actions. They probably really want to start seeing a return on investment here. I'm sure investors do as well on their purchase of Activision Blizzard King. And so far, I don't think that they've gotten that in the amount so far. I hope it doesn't go as far as, hey, we need to close studios. I think that would be the wrong thing to do. Maybe Microsoft will come back, well, we need the money for this, that, and the next thing. But for my side is that now you're eliminating a lot of the studios that were out there that were creating content, creating IP that we enjoy. And if let's say you're trying to convince me that does not have Game Pass, that has tried Game Pass, but doesn't play a lot of games, that I should go pay a monthly subscription to Game Pass. Is cutting out maybe a game that might get me on there, a game studio that creates a game that I like, going to be able to help entice me to that? I don't think so. And this is the one worry I did have when they were going through and trying to acquire Activision Blizzard King, is that while you get all this IP, will Microsoft be committed to actually releasing IP? If this turns out and, keeps going down the road it's going on, where they sign a deal with AMD, right, for Xboxes, handhelds to consoles, whatever that's going to mean in the hardware side of things. And they have all this IP for games, and they don't start putting it all together. You have, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, that have been pushing this stuff a lot, that may not be look great for them in the long run with Microsoft. Now, hopefully Microsoft is able to sort this out. I want them to be able to produce games and get them out there. But one thing Brad Sams also said, which he's quite right on, is that when you have the subscription model, that's $60 or now up to $80 for the base games, that revenue is not coming right back to the studio. That whole entire revenue stream, right? Granted, you got Steam that takes 30%, or Epic Games that takes 12, etc., or as low as 12. And you have all those options here. Xbox, I'm sure, is taking a cut, depending on what it is. But if you're on a Game Pass subscription, that may not be enough money coming back to these studios. And he makes a great point. Does that need to change? Did Microsoft make a mistake with this Game Pass subscription? And is that where maybe some of these cuts are coming from as they switch over to something else? Now, with how they're pushing Game Pass, I don't know if you can easily switch that. I mean, they did change out the Xbox Gold stuff and everything. I think that's all gone now. Um, it's been a while since I've looked at that. I mean, they got the Game Pass stuff. They have the PC side, the Xbox side. I I kind of think that they have to figure this out here more quickly. I'm unsure if the layoffs are going to completely help get in the right direction, right? These high profile games that they have been having, right? They had Doom out, Indiana Jones, right? They had COD. They have them on multi-platform strategies. Can you get if you really want to do that Xbox Game Pass, can you do something where you can get it on Sony, Nintendo, and people then can have it across there? If that's what you're going to be dedicated to. If you're not going to be dedicated to it, you have to figure out a way, get these cross platforms, get the money in for this so that you can put out good content and keep this um, in a positive direction for the Xbox side. This is one of those things where you kind of take a look at where the Xbox is going. And I did some hardware stuff last week thinking about where that might be going. I think that they have to kind of change strategies here a little bit. Make sure that we are a content publisher. We're going to do this, and then we're going to enable hardware based upon what the minimums we want to see in this, and we're going to deliver hardware working with AMD to be able to put these into consoles, handhelds, wherever, even DIY. Get something invigorating. Make it even on a PC side. Make Windows a gaming platform. I think you got something there. But if you're not going to put the effort into Windows either, you're going to have a problem, because the people that want the game, yes, right now it's on Windows, but let's say Steam OS keeps taking off and there's Bazite, which is doing well there, and we know Steam is increasing in it on its Linux numbers. You start going through some of the stuff and you start looking at it, you're going, what's Microsoft offering me to make sure that my gaming experience is the best? And I think that Microsoft has to not just think of this as the Xbox app or Xbox team problem, but as a gaming problem to be tasked with, because the OS side of things is going to be part of this story to be told, and maybe Microsoft needs to have some recognition there that if we want Windows and we want Xbox to be a gaming platform, maybe that starts with making sure that Windows is a rock solid platform to be gaming on. Best performance, best user experience, best, positive light on that side of things, rather than maybe taking a slight to the Windows users and not making it the best possible platform, annoying people with it and sticking a whole bunch of features in there that aren't really relevant. While you can add features, make sure that you don't degrade other features that are already in the OS, improve those at the same time. Make it an OS that people want to use, and maybe you'll also help gain people there. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck to the cross-platform, which I'm fine with. I think cross-platform on everything there can be a great success for Microsoft. I keep saying that you need to give your Xbox something, but I I think that giving the Xbox fans something may be as much as just different consoles with different hardware with AMD. across the spectrum so that you can deliver your games on whatever platform people play on. I think Sony, especially Nintendo, are just going to be able to go down their same console route. We've already seen Nintendo sell a lot of the Switch 2s. Sony is selling a lot of their PlayStations always. And so where does this go from there? And this is, one of those things where it comes down to money. And Microsoft is driven a lot by investors. So the layoffs, we'll see what happens. Their fiscal year here ends the end of June. So it should be pretty soon around that time frame. And I don't like seeing people get laid off. I'm hoping that they all find jobs and we'll see what's all affected. But right, I think Microsoft needs to also focus on making sure that they deliver on this purchase, and that's delivering games to the users that people want to play. Like me, if I got a friend, he plays a lot more games than I have. You have to release games that he wants to play, he wants to go and buy. If you're not willing to do that, and people just wait for them on Game Pass or just wait till they get down in price or not play them at all, I don't think that you're making a great stride with the whole Xbox team. And if people aren't adding on new Game Pass subscriptions, that could be the other side of this too. With these new games, then you got to start thinking maybe it's not the Game Pass might not be the perfect strategy for us, or the price for Game Pass may not be the perfect price for us either. So with that, let me know what your thoughts are on the whole Xbox app getting multiple different launchers, Steam or BattleNet in there. Then also let me know what you think about the Microsoft layouts. And with that, I want to thank you so much for watching Grow Alone and help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon as it really does help out the channel. Until next time, God bless.